5v5 is on the horizon, but what has been projected to be Vainglory's biggest competitor has just landed. Welcome into the queue, everybody. I am Belligerent, and yes, we are talking about Arena of Valor. It's here after the rumors or the stories or whatever they were that said Arena of Valor was postponed indefinitely, after the stories that said Arena of Valor was slated for 2018. Tencent went ahead and released it now. It's here. It's been out for a couple of days now, and it's time to take a look at it. So I gotta be honest, and I gotta give a shout out to somebody on Twitter. I don't remember your Twitter handle right now, but I did respond to you personally on Twitter. But somebody made a tweet to me saying that they were really looking forward to my honest opinion, and it made me rethink, because last night I actually recorded my thoughts on Arena of Valor, and this tweet that was sent to me really made me rethink, step back, take another look, and really kind of assess myself, which I love to do because I'm always trying to get better. I fail a lot. I mess up a lot. I make a lot of the wrong choices. But one thing I always try to be is self-aware, and I always try to get better. I may fail at getting better, but I always try to get better. And so after reading that, I stepped back and I kind of reconsidered Arena of Valor, because my initial thoughts on Arena of Valor were basically mirrors of what it was when I played it on one of the EU servers before it ever was released to North America. And I just don't like the virtual joystick games. They're just not my thing. And so my opinion of Arena of Valor when I recorded yesterday was already jaded going into it. So I tried to step back and I tried to kind of clear my mind and come at this from a fresh approach. And that's what you're hearing now. So shout out to the individual who gave me the tweet that made me reassess. So let's take a look at Arena of Valor. And in this podcast, I don't think I want to compare it too much to Vainglory. I don't want to put them side by side. I don't want to use Vainglory as the baseline or the judgment. I just want to look at Arena of Valor for what it is, kind of how it fits. I'm sure there will be some Vainglory references, hopefully mostly for just comparison's sake. And let's really take a look at this game, because as I've seen some people say, there's enough room for both games. There is. It's not like Vainglory needs the monopoly on the mobile MOBA market. So when we look at Arena of Valor, it is 5v5, and it's basically, it's kind of a repeat of those other ones. Heroes Evolved, Mobile Legends, all the things that came before them, or maybe they weren't out before them. Maybe they were just out in NA before them. I don't know. I don't keep track of games in the App Store on a global basis. One thing that I have found is that the virtual joystick games much easier and much more enjoyable to play on a phone as opposed to an iPad. And that's where part of my problem was, is that when I was originally playing these virtual joystick games, I was playing them on the iPad. That's where I play Vainglory, and so that's where I tried these, and it just doesn't work on an iPad. So in my opinion, that's kind of a negative, is that it doesn't lend itself to all mobile devices well, because of the controls. However, on a phone, on my iPhone X, I actually enjoy the controls. I actually kind of enjoy to be honest, I guess, I enjoy kind of the virtual joystick a little better than the touch controls for Vainglory on a phone. On my phone. Now, I know there are a lot of Vainglory players that play on their phone. There are some people that I've heard that say, you still play on an iPad in 2017? And that's fine. I personally, when I play Vainglory, I like to be able to, set the tablet down and tap all over the screen. It's not quite as enjoyable on the phone. For me, trying to just do it with all thumbs and got to move the thumbs all over the place, and it's just not my thing. And honestly, I played Vainglory like that for a long time, even when it wasn't on the phone. When I had the iPad Mini, that's small enough, and my hands aren't giant by any stretch of the imagination, but my hands are big enough to use just thumbs, holding the iPad Mini like I would hold the phone. So kind of a negative, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. At least in my opinion, I think Arena of Valor with the virtual joystick controls and the 3 ability button controls and things like that only really lend themselves to the phone platform as opposed to phone and tablet. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you have found success on a tablet with these controls. I haven't. I don't really care for them on the tablet. The other thing that I have done, I'll just let you know, is that I've ordered one of those suction cup joysticks to try to play with this game. It was only like $5 on Amazon, and I had some money on a gift card already, so it was really free for me. So I'm going to see how that goes, and I'll get back to you on that one. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, I believe, Thursday. So it suction cups to the face of the device, basically, and it gives you an actual joystick to use as opposed to a virtual joystick, or at least that's what it's supposed to do. Whether it actually works or not, who the hell knows until it gets here. So when I think of Arena of Valor, and for this I gotta use Vainglory as kind of the example. Arena of Valor for me, the best way that I have come up with it in my head to kind of compare the two is that for me, Arena of Valor is kind of like a shooter style game compared to a MOBA game. It is a MOBA, right? You got the 3 lanes, you're pushing towers, stuff like that. But the reason that I call it a shooter is it's really all kind of fast-paced action. You don't have to be anywhere particular to buy new items. It's just as soon as it's available, it pops up on your screen and you tap it and you keep going. And I think of that as kind of like a shooter-style game because you can pick up new guns off of the ground, you can pick up new ammo off of the ground, and you just keep going and going and going and going. It's really fast-paced. It's not slow. It's not... I mean, there's a little strategy to it, and I'm sure as you get into the higher levels and stuff, there's strategy to it, but to me it feels like a very fast-paced, almost shooter-like MOBA game, and that sets it apart from something like Vainglory or your traditional MOBA, where it's kind of more of a slower-paced game. You have to plan your waves right. You have to go back to base at the right time, or you risk giving the advantage to the opposing team. Or if you think about a game like Vainglory that has a shop in the jungle, and even 5v5 we've seen now is going to have 2 shops in the jungles, one on each side of the map. Teams can strategize around that. You can set up, like in 3v3 Vainglory, you can set up near the Kraken or in the tri-bush or in the shop bush and try to deny the other team the chance to shop or force them to port back home, which then gives you momentum and gives you advantage, like to push the lane and things of that nature. Well, in Arena of Valor, you don't have that to plan around. You don't have that possibility, right? Nobody can stop you from shopping because it's just there. So if you like fast-paced games, if that's more your style, if you just like action, then that's probably a positive for you. When I'm thinking of a MOBA game, that's not exactly what I'm looking for, so I don't know if I personally consider it a positive, but it's how the game is different. I don't know of any MOBA games. Now, I've already said in many podcasts, including ones that aren't my own podcasts, like the Time for Rolling podcast, and I think even on the recent Shatter the Vein podcast that I was on, I think I've mentioned that I'm not I'm not fully experienced in all the other MOBA games and League of Legends and Dota and things like that. So I don't know if you can buy items on the fly like that in those other games, or if you actually have to go back to base or go to a specific area to shop. This is new for me, being able to buy items on the fly like you can in Arena of Valor. It's not like I guess it's really not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the way that it is, and it keeps up for fast-paced action. Okay, so now some of the things that I do like about Arena of Valor, some of the things that Arena of Valor does right compared to other experiences I've had. One thing that I really like that I think is really good for content creators and things like that, you'll probably see me use some of it in some YouTube videos. You might even see it as backdrops for this podcast, since I published the podcast on YouTube. There's always video, quote unquote video, accompanied by it, and I have dabbled once in a while with putting something to watch in the background. And the nice thing about Arena of Valor that it manages to do is that you can set it up to automatically record your matches. And you have a couple of different options. You can automatically record the full match, or you can just have it automatically record highlights. And that's what I've been doing. And it will record, I'm guessing it's up to 60 seconds because I've never got a video that is longer than that when I've done highlights. Maybe I'm just not good enough to have enough highlights, but anyways, what it does is it automatically saves any kills or assists, and I think the assist it just uses to fill up more video if you didn't have a lot of kills in that game. But it basically kind of makes its own little highlight reel of each match for you, and you have the option to save it straight to your phone, and then you have the little video clip that will watch it. I really like that. I think that's very helpful for promoting the game, for people being able to show the game or, tweet about a really good play rather than, the way that like Vainglory does it, where you have to go back in after the match and you have to, go through the whole reel and things like that. It's really nice to have the game automatically do it for you. The other thing, like when Vainglory does it, like you can record during the match with Vainglory, but the problem with that, at least from my experience, is that it really, really causes a lot of lag. If I want to record during the match, I generally hook up to my computer and use a program on the computer, use some software on the computer to record that way, as opposed to having to go back and fiddle with the in-game recorder and export that out and things like that. Arena of Valor really makes things like that very simple. Arena of Valor has in-game chat, both text and voice, something I'm not a fan of. I hate those things. I would much rather use a Discord type thing than have voice chat with everybody that's in the game, because I'm not that social of a person. If there are people that I don't know, I really don't want you. It's usually, from my experience, in-game chatter, whether it's text or voice, is usually very, very toxic, and so I just avoid it. Now, I haven't found, you can mute the voice, but I haven't found the option to turn off the text. And also the other team can apparently send you text messages to everybody as well. So it can get really toxic and really kind of shit talking back and forth. So I'm not huge fans of those, but if that's something I've seen lots of posts over my time in Vainglory on different forums and stuff like that, where people wanted those features, and so if you're one of those, then Arena of Valor has that. I hope they never add that to Vainglory. I don't want it. Now, I don't know much about programming or what it takes to make these things happen, and I don't know if the Arena of Valor game is able to do this because the graphics are such lower quality than a game like Vainglory that takes a lot of graphic power. I don't know what goes into the programming and why Arena of Valor can do it and Vainglory doesn't. Maybe it's just a choice that Vainglory made, is not to do that. So on that note, the Arena of Valor graphics are not bad. They're just not like really in-depth type graphics like you're going to get from Vainglory, like we saw in the 5v5 Vainglory reveal and all the the graphics that we're all used to. There's no fog of war. Best I can tell, there's not even like a vision like distance. Like if it's on your screen, you can see them whether they're over the wall or not, unless they're hiding in a bush. There is bush. Well, it's more like tall grass, but either way it goes, there are like bushes for people to hide in. There are places to set up ambushes, but if you're not there, the other team can see you. So it doesn't matter how far away you are. There's no vision point. The other thing that Arena of Valor does that I'm really a fan of is that you can set up to 3 pre-programmed builds, and when you're in the hero select, you can swap through those builds depending on the situation that you're in and depending on the build that you want to use. There might be one hero that, if you're going to play the top lane, you use a certain build, but if you're going to play the middle lane, you're using a different build, or if you're going to jungle, you're using a different build. You can set all of those up beforehand for every single hero specifically, and then it will automatically pop up those items on your build path as you're playing the game. So that's nice. You don't have to worry about trying to figure out the shop and stuff in the middle of the game. You can read through all the new items, what they do. You can kind of think and plan your build. Or if you go to a site, like I know Vainglory has a Vaingloryfire website for builds. So you can go, I'm sure there's plenty of those out there for Arena of Valor now. So you can go to one of those sites. You can figure out a build that you want. You can plug it into the game. You can have up to 3 different ones. And that's really nice. That's something that Vainglory hasn't done yet. That's something that I've wanted to see in Vainglory for a long time. They took a first step towards it by having the pre-programmed builds, but does anybody use those? I don't use those. I turn them off, in fact, because they're annoying. I would much rather have the ability to create my build path before the match starts. But that's not something that we get to see in Vainglory yet. It is something that's in Arena of Valor. That's really, really nice. Now, some of the things that I'm not a huge fan of in Arena of Valor, the targeting system is a little wonky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's awkward and cumbersome to aim your abilities on Arena of Valor, and that's weird. The other thing that bugs me are the jungle camps, because sometimes you'll be fighting the jungle camp, and it shows you like this little, I don't know what it is, realm that around each one that I guess apparently you're supposed to stay in, but sometimes you'll shoot one. Sometimes you even shoot it on accident because, like I said, the targeting system is a little wonky. And so if you're outside of that system and you don't kill the jungle camp fast enough, it like turns around and stops ignoring you and goes back into the base, and it just heals, whether you're hitting it or not, which is really annoying, especially when you're trying to go through the jungle and you start getting this thing going and you go from one camp to the other camp and you just happen to be outside of that area because your targeting circle is so wide, and when you're standing in one camp, you hit the other one. But now all of a sudden you got to kill the thing basically 2 times because it just decided randomly at some point in time in the middle of your fight it was going to go back and heal. So that's I'm not a huge fan of that. The heroes feel a little expensive, but I could be wrong. I'm trying to remember, like, I know a hero in Vainglory, if you're going to pay ice, is 900 ice. I'm trying to remember. I don't recall how much it costs. I think 900 ice feels like $7, I want to say. Let me see if I can look at this real quick while I'm on here. Sorry, this is really bad radio. But yeah, so for $10, you get 1,300 ice in Vainglory, and it only costs 900 to buy a new hero. So you're looking at about $6 to $7 if you want to buy a hero and not grind it out. Well, in Arena of Valor, for $9.99 for the $10, you get 1,200 vouchers, quote unquote vouchers, and I think most heroes are like 1,120 vouchers or something like that. So you're basically spending $10 a hero in Arena of Valor compared to 6 or 7 for Vainglory. Now, in Arena of Valor, there are some heroes that are less vouchers than that. And there's a big portion of heroes that you get for free on what they called the Road to Glory, I think it is. And it's basically for every 3 matches you play, completely, you unlock a hero. You can unlock up to 2 heroes a day. Now, that's good and that's bad because, like, from my past experience, my favorite hero to play was Yorn, and it took me, like, I didn't get to unlock him until day number 2, which was today, when, I would have preferred to just buy him and unlock him, but I couldn't, and there's a whole section of him that you can't do that to. You can only unlock through going through this road to glory path. So no matter what you do, no matter how much money you want to spend on Arena of Valor, there are some heroes that you're not going to be able to get to. So, I guess it's a little mix and match because, like I said, there are some heroes that are less, but there are also, most of them feel like they're in that 1120, I think the number is, range for vouchers. So you're looking at about $10 a hero. The skins for most heroes, I think, were around like 500 vouchers. So you're looking at about $5 a skin. So to me, it feels a little more expensive than Vainglory. There's some other neat little features, but I'm not going to give you a whole rundown on the game. Ultimately, and one other thing I guess to touch on is that a full-fledged 5v5 match from Arena of Valor, for me, has generally lasted in about the 15 to 20, maybe 15 to 25 minute range. So about the same amount of time that a 3v3 match on Vainglory is. So it's, for those of you that were hoping that Vainglory 5v5 was going to stick to about the same time frame as the 3v3, about that 15 to 20 minute mark, Arena of Valor might fit that bill fairly well for you. It looked like Vainglory 5v5 was going to struggle to stay in that 15 to 20 minute mark range. As where Arena of Valor, I think that's where most of them have ended for me. Some other things about Arena of Valor, and this is apparently going to be a longer episode because I'm way over my time now. A lot of stuff to say about this game, and I kind of want to give you kind of my full insight and full, at least first take on this game. When we talk hero balance, I just don't think it's there with Arena of Valor. Like, I think we all of us Vainglory players have criticized SEMC for a long time about hero balancing. If you play Arena of Valor, you will appreciate what they do so much. Crowd control is seriously overpowered in this game. Like, I've played some heroes and you get stunned and you're dead. There is no reflex block or any type of item like that in Arena of Valor that can help you avoid ability. What's the word? Oh my God. Ability effects. So, like, if you get hit with a stun and then you get hit with a slow and then you get hit with another slow, and you're basically standing there until you're dead. So that's a little rough. I don't like that very much. I feel like there are some heroes that are just way overpowered and there are other heroes that are just underpowered. And again, I'm only 2 days into this and I'm never going to be the best player there around in any game. So maybe, it's kind of like with Vainglory. There are some heroes in Vainglory who traditionally have not been the strongest heroes in the meta, like an Ozo, for example, right? Like for your average, I don't know, tier 5 and below, maybe even 6 and 7, I don't know. But for those tiers, like a Ozo can be very awkward to play if you don't quite understand the mechanics, right? Very difficult to play a hero like Ozo, not kind of just inherently powerful and easy to play. But some of the stronger pro players can pull off a Ozo with great ease, and it might be the same way with Arena of Valor, where there's a hero for me where I'm like, this guy's a potato, this girl's a potato, and maybe some of the higher ranked players or the pro Arena of Valor players can take those heroes and actually make them work. I don't know. Arena of Valor feels very snowbally to me. Like, there's not a lot of like the back and forth that I like. You don't ever really feel like once you're behind, you don't ever really feel like there's a way to come back. That again could be a lack of understanding as far as late game and early game heroes. I mean, when it comes to stats and item effects and things like that, for me, there's still a ton to explore. It's a very kind of in-depth game that way. At least it appears to be on the surface. Now, I have seen games where once you dive into the statistics, you realize that there's really only 2 or 3 items that are worth a damn, and you realize that, let's say there's 10 items, 4 out of the 10 items are basically duplicates as far as the stats they offer, and the ability effects that they offer are just kind of slightly tweaked. So I haven't really dived into the stats and the effects and all of that. So, and then, understanding like how the heroes level up, understanding who's early, who's mid, who's late game, stuff like that is still not something that I comprehend about Arena of Valor. But to me, it feels very snowbally. Like, I can almost tell, like, in the first 3 minutes of a match which way the match is going to go, right? Like, if my team is giving up kill after kill after kill, and in 3 minutes they're up 5 kills to nothing, and by that time they've probably started probably taking down a tower. If not, they're probably pushing really hard on one of the towers somewhere. It's very snowbally, so once you fall behind, it's really difficult to come back. But on the flip side, if you're ahead, it's really difficult to lose. So I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, I like the ability to kind of go back and forth. I might find more of that in Arena of Valor as time goes on. But ultimately, I think the question is, can both of these games exist in the same market? And I believe they can. I believe that they can. I believe that Arena of Valor is almost in a different genre of mobile MOBA games than Vainglory. Like, Vainglory is reaching to be League of Legends, Dota, Smite, these great MOBA games that we know. You just play them on a mobile device, right? As to where, for me, Arena of Valor feels more like a mobile MOBA game that is kind of almost your traditional mobile game, right? Most people, and that's kind of where Vainglory is struggling with the population in general, is that they think, a lot of gamers just don't take mobile games seriously right now, and Vainglory is trying to be that game that is like seriously like a serious game just on a mobile device, is where Arena of Valor feels like it's kind of a more a scaled back, kind of cut down version designed to play on a mobile device, right? Like, if you get Injustice 2 on your mobile device, you're not getting the full experience of Injustice that you would get if you're playing Injustice on the PlayStation or the Xbox. It's just a way for you to get your Injustice fix on a mobile device, and that to me kind of feels like what Arena of Valor is. It's a way for you to get your MOBA fix on a mobile device, even though you get you're getting the real game somewhere else. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my take on Arena of Valor. That's what I'm seeing from it. I think you could get something from it, especially if you're looking for the 5v5 experience. It's there. If you find the controls clunky like I found them, try it on your phone. Anyways, thanks for listening. This was The Q. I am Belligerent. Like, comment, subscribe, tweet at me. Let me know how you feel. Let me know your thoughts on Arena of Valor. Peace.